singers.
William.
Oh my goodness, the grand final of the Eurovision Song Contest 2019 is just hours away. Last night was the jury show, which counts for 50% of the vote. Tonight is the final, and you'll have the televote, which accounts for the other 50%. Should we look at how the betting odds have changed and see who they think's gonna win? Let's do this! Oh my goodness, all these numbers, all these singers. Find out about the numbers and singers in your past with MyHeritage. In any case, the bookies' odds-on favorite remains the Netherlands. The best price you can get now is 3/4 at Unibet. That is really low. This is less than 1. To me, this suggests he won the jury final. Or rather, there's confidence he won the jury final. We've been saying it all week. This is gorgeous, this is stunning. This will appeal to both televoters and music professionals.
Yeah, completely. I think it's totally deserved and makes sense that the Netherlands is in pole position. And I think something else a lot of people are talking about now are the YouTube views for the semi-final performances. And bearing in mind the Netherlands went up 48 hours after Australia, which is the assumed winner of semi-final 1. Duncan has a huge lead on Kate in terms of the views. He's being downloaded on iTunes all over Europe. Spotify works slightly differently to iTunes, so we're waiting for those numbers. But this is all to say there is real momentum behind the Netherlands as we go into the grand final.
Next up is Australia. She's been climbing all week. Now, she's much further back. The best price you can get on her is 7-1, which is a huge, from less to 1 to 7-1, it's a huge gap. Yeah. But I think that visually, this is so strong, and so much of the televote comes down to visuals. I think people are much more influenced by visuals than music professionals.
Completely, and I think the music professional is so important because I think Zero Gravity is not necessarily a song that will appeal to juries. You look at the kind of songs of operatic elements we've had previously, Elena Nachaeva, Milena Ehrman. Those songs did not necessarily perform well with the juries because they kind of see it as a pastiche. Is it radio ready? Does it really fit the criteria looking for? Televoters, on the other hand, this is exactly the kind of thing people tune into. We talk a lot about the 99% of Eurovision fans who tune in on the night of the grand final, and that is the only night of the year they watch Eurovision. This is the song they will vote for. Once you've had a few gin tonic and limes at the party, when lines open, you will pick up the phone and dial number 25. So I think Australia stands to do really well in the televote tonight.
Great running order. It comes so late, next to last, I believe. Yes. And the fact is, at that point, you want a big finish. You're waiting for something. This could kind of crowd out everything that's come before it because it is such a visual spectacle. Now, this next act is very interesting. Luca, Switzerland. At one point, I think he dropped all the way to 10th favorite. He didn't have a voice in his rehearsals because he was ill, but our boy has recovered. Now he's back near the top, climbing. He's actually narrowing. His odds are improving as we speak. He is 3rd favorite. This, again, looks like nothing else. It comes around the time of Kate Miller-Heidke. Yeah. This could really bring it home. The Despa Fuego vibe, Despacito Fuego, you're really feeling it. Mainstream, it looks like a music video. Yeah. And I think that's gonna wow a lot of people, because when you think Eurovision, you don't necessarily think sleek music video type production, and that's what he's bringing. When she goes low, she goes real low, and she takes the earworm with her.
Completely, and I mean, I think you look at the scores from last year, and Eleni did incredibly well in the televote with a really similar kind of high pop, high impact performance, and it's often forgotten that, having mentioned Australia in the same breath, while people come for kitsch, people also will vote for musical quality and songs that they like. Yeah. And I do think the radio ready sound that Switzerland has will help it appeal across borders in a way that perhaps Australia's song, maybe if you go kind of east of the Danube, is not going to have the same appeal. Luca song you can hear appealing to housewives in Serbia, young children in Latvia, the Nordics. This will really appeal.
Teens in Moldova.
Exactly, it has broad appeal. So while I don't know if I necessarily believe we're heading to Bern in 2020, I do think this is going to probably be the best result Switzerland has had in a long time tonight.
Yeah, I gotta go to Sweden now. This This is the fourth favorite. At one point, he was second favorite. Sweden always carries with it the weight of expectation. This is polished, this is gospel, this is soul. It's incredibly catchy. It comes in the first half. I think it's really gonna stand out. It's a feel-good number, golden lights, a choir of beautiful backing vocalists. Just when you think the song might get dull, this sea of voices comes out. It's so surprising, so uplifting. The word is attitude. John has the attitude, he works every angle, he's got the voice. I love this celebration of diversity. They have singers from America, from Eritrea. It's just very touching on so many levels.
And I think also interestingly, you look where he's been drawn in the running order, number 9. That suggests he did well in his semi-final because producers give countries that do well later spots in their halves. So I think it's going to be an interesting one to watch with Sweden because while it may not necessarily be in position to win either the jury or the televotes, I think there is a lot of talk about on combined scores, similar to Jamala in 2016. Is Jon Lundvik going to come from behind and surprise and win in the event that we have a split vote on either tally? So it is quality from Sweden, but also I think they fixed the problem of soul that they've had in the past few years. You look at the Franzes, the Robin Bengtssons, the Benjamin Ingrossos of the world. There's been a lot of criticism about how much character, how much soul, how much personality they have behind these incredibly polished chart pop songs. One thing Jon Lundvik does not lack is soul. So it's going to be an interesting one to watch how Sweden performs tonight because I think when we come to adding the scores up and they're revealing the televote, it could get interesting.
Absolutely. He's got that appeal both professionally and personally. It's going to be very, very interesting. Iceland is next. Now the odds start to widen a bit. The best price here is 25 to 1. Iceland is kind of the Lordy of this year. It's so out there, it's going to be incredibly divisive. Some people may be scared by the PVC leather and whips. Others will think, wow, this is shattering the stereotype of Eurovision. Because this isn't a rainbow. This isn't a unicorn. This is death, the darkest form of dark doomsday. They've had a lot of media hype surrounding them because of controversial comments they have made. They've been in The Economist, for instance. They've been all over the newspapers. So people, particularly in England, will be aware of this act, and that may get them a lot of votes.
Yeah, I think that's a massive media narrative, but also last night by general consensus, that was the best performance we've seen from Hatari on the Eurovision stage. Vocally, they sounded really great. Some question marks about are jurors going to go for this? There is kind of a higher average age, more of them are old men. Are they really going to be motivated for kind of a LGBTQ friendly BDSM technical performance? However, vocally they were very good in their genre, so in that sense they should have been rewarded by the juries last night, and I think the fact Iceland is back in the top 5 suggests there is some movement behind them. They also are probably one of the only acts this year when we look at the sandwiches that has kind of been sandwiched between two songs that do not stand out as much. They were going to have impact wherever they were, but I think being between the United Kingdom and Estonia gives this real powerful impact, where in the case of the Netherlands, or indeed Australia actually, they're both sandwiched between songs that are at a kind of higher level, so certainly this is going to have big impact tonight. Yeah,
the other thing I would say is that this song is actually musical in terms of the jury. People think juries will be put off by this, but there is a musical quality here. You can scream and sing at the same time, and they managed to strike that balance. All right, very quickly, 6th favorite, Italy. They're actually level with Iceland, to be fair. The best price you can get is 25 to 1. Italy's staging hasn't wowed me, but then last night in the jury show, it finally all came together. There's burning money. He's wearing a gorgeous oriental top, red top with golden dragons.
Print.
Yeah, it's very stunning, just very, very modern, and yet also ancient. He's kind of straddling eras, just as he's straddling genres, because this is at once symphonic, but then also urban and R&B. This is a curious one to me. I could see a lot of jurors really getting behind this because it's not odd like Hatari, but it's not mainstream like the Netherlands.
Yeah.
It's kind of the avant-garde entry, if you will.
Yeah, it is, but I think it was actually my favourite when we got her for Soldi, and staging-wise, I think Italy some years knocks it out of the park. Last year was a great example. I don't know if it feels like they've quite hit the mark with this one. I think sometimes with Italy it feels like they undersell the entry, they don't quite deliver on the vision or the promise they gave Elizabeth, so it's going to be an interesting one to watch, because actually I thought last night Italy did not stand out as much. I think there was talk with it between France and Serbia that sonically that's designed to make Italy stand out and look different, between a Balkan ballad and kind of a more radio-friendly pop song, but actually, in some ways, Navina kind of vocally upstaged him a little bit. And France obviously has very emotional, impactful staging. So Italy is going to be interesting to watch whether this is just the market reflecting the fact Italy has done well previously, and the assumption is of that kind of group of big six, they're going to the best, or if it's going to come through. Vocally, he's there for the juries. I think visually, they could have done more of this.
7th favorite is Russia, Sergei Lazarev. He is, of course, one of Russia's biggest pop stars. He's incredibly well known throughout the East, the former Soviet republics. We're talking Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia, Belarus. Everyone knows Sergei Lazarev. He's got pull. He's got major pull, and he's going to pick up a lot of Russian diaspora votes. I think the staging is very dramatic. I was speaking to some Russian colleagues, and they all agree that this is the type of staging and drama that appeals to Eastern European voters, and I think that was a strategic decision. It's very cool, very sleek, very technological, and he can sing. It's not clear to me how he did in the jury show. They sandwiched him quite early. You know, he's not in the latter half of the first half. He's like right in the middle, I believe, which suggests that maybe in his semifinal...
Number 5.
But as we've seen in the past, you don't have to win your semifinal to win Eurovision. And I think that he's still in contention for a top 5 finish. I don't think this is the winner. I don't see that happening, but I think, you know, if you want to put an each way bet top 4, you might get something.
Yeah, I think the running order kind of says it all. I think, unfortunately, Sergei clearly did not, I don't believe he finished in the top 3 of semi-final 2, which is why he's on as early as he is. Equally, you know, we have seen countries do well from earlier. It's not unheard of, but I do think kind of the moment for a Russian victory is probably past now. Equally, Scream is the kind of song that should really appeal to the juries. He probably gave his best vocal performance last night. He was really punching to kind of sell what he has, and really Sergei is the selling point for this. So I think it's in there, and also when we think about, you know, Eastern Europeans, in that list, Russia is probably the biggest Eastern European name that's still in contention.
Mother Russia, the children will vote for you.
Exactly. So it's going to be one to watch, but I don't know. It feels like he's down where he is in the betting odds because he's not really in the mix to win the show now.
Well, that's what we think. What do you think? Do you think the bookies reflect reality? Who will surprise? Who is a bet we should, you know, who should we bet on to make some money? Let us know here on wiwibloggs.
Make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, in the comments let us know what you think about the bookies, and hit that notification bell.
Life's a gamble, and your ancestors made a few. Find out about your personal history with MyHeritage. We'll see you later.
Bye!